Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for September 23rd, 2025. If you're wondering what happened to the one yesterday, I screwed up the recording. I think at one point I meant to pause the recording for whatever reason, and then I accidentally hit stop instead. And then that like pretty much killed it. But it was terrible anyway. Today we've got Dark Ages, all Dark Ages. All right. Um, at a glance, it looks less terrible than yesterday. And of course, we have shelters since the 100% Dark Ages, there's a 100% chance for shelters. We have a 5-2, which actually doesn't look amazing here. Maybe it's fine though. Yeah, I think it's probably bad. So, trashing from Forager and Alter. Grave Robber can also trash actions. That's more of an endgame thing, though. We've got plus actions from Wandering Minstrel, draw from Hunting Grounds and Catacombs. Gains. Gains are a little interesting. So you grave robbing a catacombs like into a province, you get another card off of that. So that's net gains. Grave robbing hunting grounds is similar because you get multiple. You get like the green cards that you get from trashing in addition to like the province. Forager gives you plus buy, but it's not net gains because you do have to trash a card. Marauder gives you a spoils. Death cart, like gaining death cards can get you extra cards. So there is like some ways to do that, but it's not the most straightforward. It is going to be potentially a little bit gain limited because even though, like, okay, so there is the Marauder thing, and that also gives your opponent ruins, which is gains for them. But aside from that, right, Hunting Grounds and Catacombs, you do both have, in both cases, have the opportunity to get gains out of those, but they're also your draw cards. So, like, it's awkward. Like, you can plan to do that, but it can be hard to actually do it. Especially Hunting Grounds is expensive. Like, we can't gain it with Alter. So that can be a lot to ask of the deck to be able to, like, buy a bunch of Hunting Grounds to the point where then we don't need to play them. We'll see. I mean, we are going to probably want to work towards something like that where we're using Grave Robber for provinces, or buying provinces, but also trashing some of these things. Anyway, I think we're going to open with a Band of Misfits. I don't really expect piles to run enough for it to become a bad card. It can be a Forager if that's what we want. It can be a Scavenger if that helps us get to Alter. It can be a Marauder if for some reason that's what we want. Even Death Cart. I mean, not in the opening, right? Like Death Cart, you actually have to have an action to trash. That didn't used to be the case, I think. But oh wait, we have Necropolis. Okay, so that actually could be relevant. Bot goes with Catacombs. Interesting. I guess I can see the argument for that if you like. All you care about is hitting 6 and you don't happen to have this particular collision that I had, then yeah, Catacombs will work. But I think Death Guard to the Necropolis is the play here. Pick up an Altar. I'm trying to think what other things would we consider. We're probably going to have 4 next turn, which is good. We can take a Minstrel, and then we'll have plus actions to go with our potential 2 terminals, although Band of Misfits doesn't have to be a terminal, obviously, but it might still want to be. Also, Minstrel will just cycle towards stuff. Yeah, I think... the other thing we could do is Forge Overgrown Estate, but... Guess this will be another minstrel. Second altar. That's interesting. Okay, so we definitely want to do something into catacombs. I guess that might as well be the overgrown estate. No copper in the trash yet. We have another minstrel down there. We could do scavenger. So we could do forager just to trash a copper. We could do scavenger. I think I like scavenger because we can. Scavenger is the putting your deck into your discard is optional, but the top deck of card is not, and we've got this catacombs and we have a minstrel down here. So if we do this, we can top deck the catacombs and have minstrel catacombs set up for next turn. And we get the two minstrels with the two catacombs and the altar. Do we want to take... If we take another catacombs, we're not going to be able to play 3 catacombs and an altar without playing Band of Misfits as minstrel, which is a fine thing to do. We could also just take another minstrel. I think I might actually prefer that. Okay, that looks good. Dang. I want to trash that hovel. So what I'm thinking about here is... what do we want to do with our Band of Misfits? Going to... It's like if we play the minstrel first, obviously we just discard the other 3 cards, which is fine. Wait, where's our other... Did I get the... Did I think I had 2 catacombs, but I only had 1? That's what... Okay, I should have bought a catacombs. I done goofed. I definitely done goofed. Okay. Well... What we could do... Alter... Copper to another minstrel. Play this as scavenger again. And buy a hunting grounds. Top deck the minstrel. Well, it doesn't really matter because... Get this damn hovel into our hand. I mean, we can play the catacombs first, I suppose. What do we want to do with the Band of Misfits? Yeah, I mean, we can just do this and that. We probably want to take another minstrel and buy a hunting grounds, which leaves the Band of Misfits to potentially play Marauder. We're gonna have, if we take another hunting grounds, we're gonna have overdraw. It's not a bad place to be. And the other thing we could do is play Band of Misfits as Scavenger again, just to top deck a Minstrel. But if we play Marauder, then next turn we have some extra money and we can play Band of Misfits as Forager, which is kind of nice. And we have a lot of Minstrels. I don't think it's super critical that we top deck one. Two Grave Robbers. Wow, okay. That's aggressive. Okay, so we have 9 coins if we trash the copper, which is enough to get Minstrel and a 5. I'm thinking we alter... Oh, not if we alter copper. We have 8 coins. So we could just get, like, double Minstrel or something. Or... I was thinking about doing starting Grave Robber stuff this turn, but maybe we put off for one more turn. We alter into possibly another Band of Misfits, and then we can have a Marauder and a Forager that don't have to be those things. I do want to get the last 2 Minstrels. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they have 3 Minstrels and they're trying to play 2 Grave Robbers and 2 Altars, they're gonna have trouble with that. And they have 1 draw card. So yeah, let's do one more Band of Misfits. And this one is gonna play Marauder. And I guess there's no real reason to get the spoils now if we're just trying to get the last 2 Minstrels. So I guess we'll do that. They got another Grave Robber? They must be planning to just, like, spam Grave Robber into Province or whatever. That doesn't matter. Okay, so we definitely want a grave robber now. I would. There's nothing in the trash for us to take with the grave robber. Yeah, the one problem is we can't get two grave robbers at once, because what we really want to do is grave rob something and then get it back. So that we're not leaving it in the trash for the bot. But maybe that doesn't really matter. What we could do is Band of Misfits as Forager to trash the catacombs, then grave rob that back. That's a thought. What do we gain? Off the catacombs, though. We'll have 10 coins, so we can get another grave robber, and I don't know. I mean, I guess we could take an actual forager. I guess we could take one more catacombs. We don't really need the draw. 3 grave robbers seems really greedy. But a second catacombs, we can always just turn into a province or whatever. Or we can grave rob the hunting grounds, then still have draw. It's really hard to track what the bot is doing as usual, but it's surprising that it's doing as much as it's doing with 3 minstrels. Played a catacombs, an altar, and a grave robber. And it gained yet more grave robbers. This is wild. I don't actually know whether I want to play. I guess we're not likely to trash both of our hunting grounds this turn, are we? I'll have to decide now. We have to decide soon. Yeah, I think we don't plan to trash the hunting grounds just yet. What are we trying to do this turn? I mean, I think grave robbing catacombs into province and then like using. They don't have any foragers, so I feel better now about potentially foraging spoils, although not sure how much sense that actually makes, but so we're actually a draw short of being able to put those coppers into our deck without playing or under a hand without playing one of the draw cards. But I guess that's fine. We can grave rob one of them. Which one would we rather grave rob? I mean, I guess I'd rather have the hunting grounds on top, probably. I was also thinking about altering into another grave robber. Which, I mean, we can still do that. But then I'm not sure what that grave robber is going to do. Maybe. Okay, let's do that. And then we do. If we do Catacombs, we have enough draw to draw the 5 cards that we're going to have in our discard. I think we just make this another Forager. I guess it could be a silver. Sure. Okay, and now grave rob the Catacombs onto our deck. We could trash the Forager into like another hunting grounds. End of Misfits. Forager. We don't have a lot of money this turn, do we? Hold on, I didn't really think about that. Didn't play a Marauder, didn't get a spoils. What? Another option we have would be to grave rob Band of Misfits into Province, then play Band of Misfits as Death Cart to trash Forager. Oh, shoot. I need to pause this for a second. All right. Where was I? Trying to decide what to do here. Yeah, so I think it's not actually super important that we buy anything in particular, like, you know, of this stuff. I would not mind buying a Province. Next turn, with 3 grave robbers, I think there's real potential to, like, if we get a Province now, and there's 6 provinces left, I assume the bot will try to take at least 1 or 2 with its grave robbers. So I think there's real potential for piling the provinces. I mean, if we do, I was talking about like grave robber, Band of Misfits into Province, and then Band of Misfits as Death Cart, Trash Forager by Province. That would set us up for that reasonably well. Without putting anything into the trash that's gonna particularly be of value to the bot. So yeah, I think I like that. Okay. Yeah. That order doesn't really matter, I don't think. That's a nice discard. All right, so there's no particular reason that we need to grave robber hunting grounds. They're like, we don't need the duchies, we don't need the estates. I think we just play that. Will we be able to get 4 provinces? Not that it super matters if we don't, but I think the answer is yes. 3 grave robbers, and then, well, right now we have 3 targets of the grave robber. What we would want to do, how would we buy a province like Band of Misfits as Death Cart to trash Minstrel, but we don't have enough money in our hand yet. And if we play a Catacombs, yeah, I think we're playing another Minstrel. Okay, so 2 copper and a province. This is also a province. So maybe we actually just don't have the ability to get 4 provinces. Not quite. We needed to... Like, we needed to just get... In order to do that, we probably just needed to get lucky with the copper province distribution. Like, if this was a copper... or if this was a copper... we would have it. And not that it really matters, right? If we take 3 more provinces, where I think we're in pretty good shape. Oh, wait. Grave Robber Catacombs, we can gain something. Okay. Let's think about how this works. We'll have to gain a province too. So if the Grave Robber targets are Catacombs, Band of Misfits, Altar. That's tricky. We only need 1 coin. Like, if we could... But how do we get... I think it actually still just doesn't work. Because we'd either need to play the Minstrel or we need to play the Catacombs. If we play the Catacombs, we can't get enough money from just a Catacombs gain. Like, the most we can get... I mean, I guess we could take a Death Cart, but... if we take a Death Cart, we add so much junk to our deck that the odds of drawing what we need become pretty poor, I think. Well, maybe that's not actually true, because we get to play both of the Minstrels at that point, because the Death Cart can just trash or ruin. We would still need 1 coin in addition to the Death Cart, so we would need to find one of the coppers with the Catacombs. But we wouldn't need to play the Band of Misfits as Death Cart, so we could trash that. Band of Misfits, Catacombs, Altar. So we play a Minstrel. No, we probably play Catacomb. We Grave Rob Catacombs, play Catacombs. And that way the Catacombs can discard the province before we need to play the Minstrel. Or at least it has the option to. And 2 Minstrels pretty much guarantees that we can see both Death Cart and a Ruin. So the Catacombs just needs to find one of the coppers. I think this actually does work. Okay. yeah, now we have the ruin and we have the copper from this. Oh, maybe we weren't actually guaranteed to find the death card. No, we were, because if we yeah, we were. No, we could have been in the bottom card, I guess. But it's not, so it's fine. Alright, so also the abandoned mine actually gives us a coin too. I just noticed. Grave robber trashing altar to province. Grave robber trashing band of misfits to province. There we go. We got there. 12 turns, not bad. So I think, yeah, the bot, I think, was building pretty similarly early in the game, and then it went for the payload too aggressively and did not have the actions or the draw to support that. So like it opened Catacombs instead of Band of Misfits, but it got the altar. That's the important thing. And it gets a minstrel. Gets the second altar. Second altar, I don't know. That could be good. I think second altar is just the reason I'm not sold on that is, I mean, well, for one thing, at this point, the bot only has the one minstrel. It does have an Acropolis, but it's a little dicey in terms of actions. But I do want to be able to get hunting grounds here. I don't want to just have Catacombs for draw. I mean, maybe it's fine to gain Catacombs, and I mean, obviously, in the end, we didn't trash our hunting grounds to gain like duchies or estates, but I think in a closer, more competitive game, that could have been very relevant. So the reason I want hunting grounds is A, it is a better draw card than Catacombs, and B, it has that additional scoring potential. And the thing about getting double altar is it's gonna make it easier to gain cards costing up to 5, but harder to afford card costing 6. So I do kind of think it's slightly counterproductive. Trashing faster also isn't super essential here because Minstrel does so much sifting that you're not like really bothered by having, you know, some copper left, which, I mean, the bot did anyway. Probably in part because I gave it some ruins with Marauder, but anyway. So then, yeah, then the bot gets another Minstrel. This is maybe a bit of an unfortunate draw, a little hard to tell, like, but they had, I guess they only had the one Catacombs, so maybe not. Okay. But yeah, having to get a Forager here, I think, is not too great. It's not like the worst thing, and I obviously did some Band of Misfits as Forager stuff, but like Foragers, like, you just would like to be able to get another Minstrel, I guess. And if you could get another, if you could afford another Minstrel here, then you could trash an Acropolis into another Catacombs or something. That's like more the important thing than like, oh, I just specifically don't want Forager. Anyway. Ooh, wow. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the second altar at work here, but also maybe, again, just a bad draw. Wait, what happened to that Catacombs? Yeah, well, they were a little over-terminaled going into that shuffle. They get another Minstrel, but then that's like going to be it, I think. Or maybe they get one more. I don't know if they have 2 or 3 at this point, but I think it's 3. I think that's it. So I think maybe this is the turn where really, yeah, they take a Grave Robber. Take a Grave Robber. buy nothing. I think that's crazy. Oh, and I had already given them a ruin too? Yeah. So at this point they have, and I think I mentioned at the time, they have 3 minstrels, they have 1 draw card, which is that Catacombs, 2 altars, 2 grave robbers. Like, now technically 3 minstrels is enough to play altar, Catacombs, and 1 grave robber, or Catacombs, 2 altars and 1 grave robber, Catacombs, 1 altar, 2 grave robbers, whatever. And if you're planning to grave robber one of the cards you already have, like, maybe that's fine. But I don't know. That just seems like I think they should have taken 0 grave robbers here and taken another minstrel and another Catacombs or something. But yeah. And then here, this might actually, is this already where I piled the minstrels? I think it is. And then here, yeah, I think it is. So at this point, I think the pot is already kind of screwed. 3 minstrels is just not really enough to make your deck function on this board. Or, well, it is, but it's not enough to give your deck the upside that it needs. Like, you can have a functional deck, you just can't do enough to probably win the game against a competent opponent. So yeah, from this point, it doesn't super matter what they do, and they don't do a whole lot, I think. Although this turn was like surprisingly effective, as I recall. Overgrown Estate into Catacombs, Abandoned Mine into Grave Robber, Forager into Hunting Grounds. Yeah, it was surprisingly effective, except that they're just shoving more terminals into their deck that they can't play. So, and then the next turn it's like, yeah. So, I didn't specifically identify like the minstrel split as a critical thing going in, and I don't know that I would necessarily say that it should be, because like I think losing at 6-4 isn't necessarily going to be the end of the world. It's not good, but losing at 7-3 is pretty bad, and when you had the opportunity to not do so. So I think that's, whatever else you might want to say about the board and what happened, I think that is the key thing that happened in this particular playthrough of this board. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.